Chapter 2132. Two figures appeared in the air and landed on the fighting stage, attracting everyone's attention. Tianming, dressed in white, was shrouded in a mysterious light. He looked like an immortal that had descended to the mortal world. He looked at Lu Ming with a faint smile and said, "You're strong, but you're still destined to lose." "Bullshit. I control my own fate. No one can control my fate. If there is, I'll crush them all." Lu Ming was incomparably domineering. He didn't believe in fate at all. His fate was in his own hands, not the heavens. As long as he was strong enough, he could change his fate or even reverse it. The previous people didn't believe in it either. They thought they could resist fate, but in the end, they couldn't escape it. Tianming wasn't angry and continued speaking as if he was in control of everything. "Oh, then have you seen your own fate? You'll be beaten into a pig's head by me?" Lu Ming smiled faintly. "My fate is already determined. I won't lose." Tianming said softly, "Then I'll change your fate and let you lose once." Boom. 4 types of laws erupted from Lu Ming's body and fused together. Lu Ming's body was like a cannonball that smashed toward Tianming. "You're destined to be injured," Tianming said softly and pointed with his finger. There were no energy fluctuations, but at this moment, Lu Ming's hair stood on end and his pupils constricted. He felt a terrifying force bombarding and crushing him out of nowhere. Buzz. Lu Ming vibrated his laws, and the 4 types of laws gathered into a 4-colored river that surrounded his body and blocked the strange energy attack. Is this the fate law? It's just a type of law. Although it's mysterious and strange, it can't really decide one's fate. It still needs an energy attack. Lu Ming had some understanding of the fate law. Boom. Lu Ming broke through the energy attack and charged toward Tianming. "Tianming, don't bother with these useless things. Use your divine ability." His figure was like lightning as he approached Tianming at lightning speed. "As you wish." Great fate art. The light on Tianming's body grew even denser. His figure was almost invisible as he was covered by the light. He pointed with his finger, and a beam of destiny turned into a sword that slashed at Lu Ming. Chi. Lu Ming also pointed out with a finger and used the chaotic finger of calamity. An extremely condensed finger force burst forth and destroyed the light of destiny. However, Tianming's finger continued to point out, and rays of light of destiny transformed into various weapons that shot towards Lu Ming. The power of these weapons was extremely shocking. All of them had terrifying killing power. Tianming's cultivation was also at the peak of the 2-star illusionary emperor realm. However, his combat strength was absolutely shocking. Every ray of destiny light could instantly kill an ordinary 2-star illusionary emperor, or even an ordinary 3-star illusionary emperor. Lu Ming operated the law and covered his palm. He executed the chaotic divine palm and continuously struck out. Bang, bang, bang. Lu Ming defeated the rays of destiny and scattered them like fireworks. Lu Ming was valiant and invincible. He continuously destroyed the rays of destiny that were attacking him. His figure rapidly approached Tianming. In the end, Lu Ming broke through the obstruction. He pointed out with a finger, and a chaotic finger of calamity shot towards Tianming. Tianming's eyes narrowed. A river of destiny formed under his feet, and he was in the middle of it. However, Lu Ming's current attack power was stronger than Yuan Xion's. The chaotic finger of calamity crushed over and caused the river of destiny to tremble. Everything is shrouded by the long river of fate. Lu Ming, be defeated. Tianming roared and reached out with his hand. He grabbed a figure from the river of destiny. That figure was exactly the same as Lu Ming. However, it looked very illusory and struggled in Tianming's hand. It was as if Lu Ming's fate was really in Tianming's control. Whoosh! Tianming pointed out with a finger, and a ray of light pierced through the illusory figure's body. At the same time, a terrifying force appeared out of thin air and blasted towards Lu Ming. It wanted to pierce through Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming let out a loud roar. The power of the 4 laws vibrated continuously, blocking that surge of power. Bang! Bang! The 4 types of law power constantly vibrated and collapsed bit by bit. That force was ancient and terrifying. It was unknown where it came from. Even the fusion of the 4 types of law power couldn't block it. Bang! In the end, Lu Ming frantically retreated. The 4 types of law power were penetrated. However, after the force penetrated the 4 types of law power, it was more or less neutralized. It only left a shallow mark on Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming wasn't injured. Lu Ming isn't going to be a match for him. However, this is enough to show how terrifying Lu Ming is. Yuan Xian was no match for that move and was seriously injured. However, Tian Ming's move is too terrifying. Seeing Lu Ming being repelled, everyone guessed that the final victor of this battle would be Tian Ming. Some of the forces that had a grudge against Lu Ming secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Lu Ming wasn't that heaven-defying. Fate can't be defied, Tian Ming said. He stood in the river of fate as if he was about to reach divinity transformation. Whoosh! Whoosh! He pointed out 2 fingers in a row and pierced through the illusory figure in his hand. At the same time, Lu Ming suffered a terrifying attack. The law power vibrated. Lu Ming's figure frantically retreated. However, he was blocked in the end and wasn't injured. Bullshit! Lu Ming stepped forward and charged towards Tian Ming. Tian Ming continued to attack with his finger. The force of his finger pierced through the phantom. Lu Ming encountered a terrifying attack. Several terrifying forces were attacking him. Boom! Lu Ming was blasted a few hundred meters away. His body trembled and he felt his blood boil. Lu Ming, I admit that you're a rare genius. However, you can't defy the heavens and defy fate. Tian Ming said coldly and arrogantly. You're so full of yourself. Is that all you've got? Lu Ming sneered. Tian Ming frowned. How can you defeat me with this little strength? You can't hurt me at all. Lu Ming said. Many people were shocked. Indeed, Tian Ming could only repel Lu Ming, but he couldn't seriously injure Lu Ming. Lu Ming could use his powerful defense to drag on and make this battle difficult to determine the winner. Tian Ming's face darkened. His body shone brightly as he continuously pointed his finger. However, he could only repel Lu Ming, but he couldn't injure Lu Ming. Is this your limit? Then today, let me break fate. Lu Ming roared. His body was like lightning as he rushed towards Tian Ming. Boom! In the process of rushing out, the aura on his body became stronger. The 4-colored Law River turned into 5-colored Law River. This time, the entire audience was ignited. Gosh, 5 colors, 5 types of laws. Lu Ming has mastered 5 types of laws. Am I seeing things? It's true. It's too terrifying. There's no limit. How is this possible? Everyone was shocked. Previously, Lu Ming had revealed 4 laws, which was already shocking enough. Everyone guessed that it was most likely Lu Ming's limit. Chapter 21:33. Lu Ming displayed 5 types of laws. The integration of the 5 types of laws caused an uproar. Many people found it difficult to remain calm. Lu Ming simply had no limit. Now that he had 5 types, no one was sure if he would reveal 6 later. As for Lu Xiangxiang and Ouying Moli, they jumped in excitement. Swish! Lu Ming traversed the void and approached Tian Ming in an instant. Tian Ming's pupils constricted, and his expression was incomparably solemn. His body was almost fused with the river of destiny, becoming illusory. At the same time, he continuously pointed at the illusory figure. This time, he pointed at the illusory figure's forehead. The illusory figure's forehead was pierced. Lu Ming, who was charging over, encountered a terrifying attack. An incomparably sharp force attacked Lu Ming's forehead. However, now that Lu Ming had fused 5 types of laws, his combat strength had increased greatly. His laws trembled, blocking the force. Then, Lu Ming struck out with his palm, bombarding the attack. Boom! A shocking explosion erupted, and the void trembled. The force that attacked Lu Ming was extremely shocking, but it was still defeated by Lu Ming. Try my finger. Lu Ming rushed over and pointed with his finger at the same time. Energy surged between heaven and earth, converging into an incomparably huge, primal chaos tribulation finger that crushed toward the river of destiny. Whoosh! This time, The river of destiny couldn't withstand the power of the primal chaos tribulation finger. The river rolled and shook, and the water surged, stirring up thousands of waves. Rumble. As the primal chaos tribulation finger pressed down, the river of destiny seemed to be about to collapse. At this moment, the scene was dead silent. Many people didn't even dare to breathe loudly because they knew that this was the critical moment. It was time to determine the victor. Who would win? River of Destiny slash. Tianming roared. He was absorbing the power of the River of Destiny, turning into a ray of light that slashed at the primal chaos tribulation finger. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded in the sky. The light that Tianming slashed out blocked the primal chaos tribulation finger, and the two dissipated. Again. Lu Ming pointed a few more times. Boundless energy gathered, and a total of 3 chaos tribulation fingers shot toward Tianming. Tianming could only do his best to resist. The situation had completely reversed from before. Earlier, Lu Ming had been at a disadvantage when Tianming used the River of Destiny, but now, Tianming was at a disadvantage again. The situation was rapidly changing. Boom, boom, boom. Another 3 rumbling sounds rang out. The 3 chaos fingers of calamity were blocked, but Tianming's figure retreated frantically. The river of fate trembled, and the radiance became somewhat dim. You broke through my defense. Tianming roared. Even now, you're still so confident. Let's shatter your confidence. Lu Ming stepped into the void and clenched his fist. A massive sword light condensed in the air. Sword of Death. This was a killer move that Lu Ming had created himself. It contained the 4 laws of death, devour, array Dao, and extreme energy. This was not a simple fusion of laws. Instead, it was a divine ability constructed from the various miraculous effects of the 4 laws. This kind of divine ability was many times stronger than a simple law fusion. Although Lu Ming could only use the 4 laws, he couldn't block it. This divine ability had become one of Lu Ming's strongest killer moves. Slash. Lu Ming roared and slashed down with his sword. This sword cut through the void and slashed at Tianming. Tianming tried his best to resist, but it was useless. His river of fate trembled violently before it was cut in two by the sword of death and exploded. Tianming retreated frantically, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood that dyed his snow-white robe red. Tianming was injured. With his river of fate broken, he was severely injured. Whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming did not stop there. He used the Chaos Calamity finger and continuously pointed. A few huge fingers shot toward Tianming. Tianming wasn't blasted out of the battle stage, but he didn't admit defeat either. The battle wasn't over yet. Tianming was unwilling to give up and tried his best to resist. However, he was severely injured and his battle strength was weakened. Moreover, his river of fate had been cut. He couldn't resist Lu Ming at all. After a few moves, he was sent flying 100 miles. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and his face was pale. He had been sent flying out of the battle stage. You've lost. Lu Ming stood in the middle of the battle stage and said indifferently. Defeated. Tianming had lost. The crowd was silent at first, but when they came to their senses, there was an uproar. Lu Ming is really heaven-defying. He defeated Tianming as a quasi-emperor. The legend of the law of fate has been broken. Fate can be broken. Man can conquer the heavens. The crowd was in an uproar. No one had expected that Tianming would be defeated by Lu Ming. Lu Ming had defeated Tianming and stood at the peak. At first, no one thought highly of Lu Ming. When they found out that Lu Ming hadn't broken through to the martial emperor realm, they even mocked him. At that time, no one thought that Lu Ming would be able to enter the top 10. Even more so, no one thought that Lu Ming would take first place in the end. Master is invincible. I know that my master is invincible. Xiang jumped up in excitement and didn't forget to look at the few elders nearby. Those elders were also in a daze. When they saw Xiang's gaze, they couldn't help but blush. Young master is really amazing. Qiu Yu's face was full of smiles. Huang Ling, Long Qin, Luo Tianyi, Ouying Wushuang, and the others also had smiles on their faces. Deathblade looked at Lu Ming in silence. As for Heng Xinghe, His face was extremely dark. There was even a hint of fear. Lu Ming's battle strength had exceeded his expectations. If Lu Ming attacked with his full strength, he could kill him in a single blow. Brother Wu Xiang, Brother Kong, Brother Hong, Brother He. I heard that Lu Ming came from Yuan Mountain. Who would have thought that Yuan Mountain would have such a genius? Congratulations. Some great emperors congratulated Uncle Kong, Great Emperor Wu Xiang, Great Emperor Hong, and He clan. Ha ha ha. Both Uncle Kong and Emperor Wu Xiang laughed heartily. Emperor He and Emperor Hong harumphed coldly. Their faces were extremely dark. They couldn't wait to slap Lu Ming to death. How could they be happy when others congratulated them? How could this be? The ones with the worst expressions were the Hong clan, He clan, Ancient Moon Sacred Land, Golden Crow clan, Wang clan, and other forces. Their faces were pale. Lu Ming's talent was too terrifying. If Lu Ming was allowed to grow, they would all be destroyed in the future. Thinking of this, their hearts were filled with fear. Damn it! Yuan Xian roared. He couldn't accept that Lu Ming had taken first place. Tian Ming couldn't accept it either. His eyes flashed, but they eventually fell silent. All right, the Battle of 10 Earths ends here. It's all over. The white-haired elder walked out and smiled. Now, I announce the top 10 in the Battle of 10 Earths. First place, Lu Ming. Second place, Tian Ming. Third place, Yuan Xian. Chapter 2134. There was a deafening cheer at the scene. Without a doubt, Lu Ming was the center of attention. The Battle of the 10 Earths had gathered all the geniuses of the entire primordial realm. Moreover, this generation was known as the Golden Age. Geniuses came out in large numbers, and experts gathered. Many of the sons of heaven were reduced to foils and attracted the attention of the world. And Lu Ming stepped over all the geniuses and fought at the peak. He used his strength to prove to everyone that he was the strongest. He's already so terrifying before becoming an emperor. His future is limitless. With such heaven-defying talent, if he continues to grow, he'll probably become a top expert in the world. Most people were discussing Lu Ming. However, Yuan Xian and Tian Ming were ignored. The Son of Destiny and the Son of Chaos were originally dazzling and eye-catching, but at this moment, all of their glory was snatched away by one person. Big Brother Lu Ming, you're really too powerful. Bubbles hung on Lu Ming's body, unwilling to let go. Master is so powerful. Xiang Xiang and Ouying Moli also came over and looked at Lu Ming with admiration. In their eyes, Lu Ming was invincible. Lu Ming, congratulations. Wang Ling, Long Chun, and the others also walked over and congratulated Lu Ming. To be honest, Lu Ming being able to defeat Tian Ming was also beyond their expectations. Everyone, this is not over yet. Now, it's time to give you your rewards. At this moment, the white-haired old man's voice sounded again, and the scene suddenly fell silent. Yes, there were rewards for passing the selection previously. They could enter that corner of the world and obtain great opportunities. How could there be no rewards now? At least, the rewards for the top 10 were definitely amazing. Especially the first place. Many people revealed envious expressions and looked at the white-haired old man, guessing what the rewards were. But there was no doubt that the rewards would be better than the previous selection. The reward this time is a little special, so you'll have to wait for a while. You'll know when the time comes. After the white-haired elder finished speaking, he went to an ancient altar at the peak of heaven's mandate mountain. He waved his hands, and rays of light entered the altar. The altar emitted a resplendent light, and a ray of light pierced through the void and into the depths of the heavens before disappearing. Everyone was curious, but they didn't ask and waited patiently. This wait lasted for 2 days. On this day, a muffled rumble suddenly came from the depths of the sky. Then, a resplendent golden light covered half the sky. Look, there's a door, someone exclaimed. In the depths of the sky, where the light was the brightest, a door suddenly appeared. This wasn't a gate of light, but rather something that seemed to be made of bronze. Roar, roar. The door was open, and roaring sounds could be heard from behind it, shaking heaven and earth. Dragon roar. Many people could tell that it was the roar of a true dragon. Then, everyone saw the sound of footsteps coming from the door, and the dragon's roar was getting louder and louder. Then, the crowd saw 9 true dragons rushing out from the gate. The 9 true dragons were side by side, pulling a huge chariot that appeared in the depths of the sky. On the chariot stood a number of figures. Most of them were young people who looked to be in their 20s. There were both men and women, and all of them had extraordinary temperaments. There was only one middle-aged man on the chariot. He was wearing iron armor, and his body was emitting a terrifying aura. That was the aura of a great emperor. At the highest point of the chariot sat a figure, but this figure was shrouded in divine light, and his appearance couldn't be seen clearly. Many people were shocked. Who was this person? He appeared from the depths of the sky, and he was being pulled by 9 true dragons. There were also true dragons on Yuan Mountain, and at this moment, many of them had ugly expressions. Using 9 true dragons to pull a chariot was a humiliation to the true dragon race. However, the aura emitted by the middle-aged man was too shocking. It was filled with killing intent and endless murderous intent. It was as if they were in an endless hell. Even many great emperors had solemn expressions. The true dragons stepped into the air and arrived above Tianming Mountain, floating there. The white-haired old man and some other great emperors stepped forward and cupped their fists. Greetings, heavenly realm emissaries. What? Heavenly realm emissaries? Everyone was shocked. They finally understood that these people were actually from the heavenly realm. The heavenly realm might not be unfamiliar to some great emperors because great emperors should have channels to enter the heavenly realm. But for those below the great emperor level, the heavenly realm was a legend. Many powerful forces knew that the heavenly realm was at war, but they had never been to the heavenly realm. It was even more so for the younger generation. Now, they finally saw the people from the heavenly realm. Many people's eyes lit up as they sized up the people from the heavenly realm. It's them. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. On the heavenly realm's chariot, he saw 2 young men that he had seen before. Previously, when he entered the primordial realm, he had seen 2 young men in the corner of the world that he had left behind. One had purple hair and an extraordinary temperament, unfathomable. The other was dressed in a black robe and controlled the law of reincarnation. He was a son of reincarnation and had fought with Lu Ming before. These 2 are indeed from the heavenly realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. At this moment, he thought of many things. It seemed that the primordial realm's prodigies were not the only ones who had entered that corner of the world. Perhaps the heavenly realm's prodigies had also entered. Could it be that the so-called opportunity is related to the heavenly realm? The heavenly realm has been around for countless years. It's much older than the primordial realm. Legend has it that there are endless opportunities. Some people discuss softly. Although many people knew that the 9 heavens domain in the heavenly realm had been mostly occupied by the foreign tribes, there was still the strongest and largest heavenly domain in the heavenly realm, the Tai Ching heavenly domain, which was still under control. Legend had it that the Tai Ching heavenly domain's area was not smaller than the Yuanlu. It also contained all kinds of opportunities from the heavenly realm over countless years. Many people's eyes burned with passion. Who are the top 10 prodigies of the primordial realm? Step forward and take a look. The middle-aged man in iron armor stepped forward, his voice spreading throughout the area. Many people retreated, while Lu Ming and the other top 10 prodigies stepped forward and appeared in the middle of the Destiny Mountain. The middle-aged man's gaze swept across the 10 prodigies like lightning. A layer of goosebumps appeared on Lu Ming's body. It was as if the armored man's gaze could see through them. After the armored man swept his gaze around, he nodded and said with satisfaction, "Not bad. It's said that the primordial realm is also full of prodigies. You didn't let me down. This time, many of you can enter the heavenly realm and obtain great opportunities." As the armored man spoke, many people's eyes lit up. It was indeed so. The reward this time was related to the heavenly realm. "General, I heard that the primordial realm has also reached its golden age. Many prodigies have gathered. Now that the top 10 strongest prodigies have been determined, I'm itching to spar with the prodigies of the primordial realm." Chapter 21:35. Many people's eyes flickered. The prodigies of the Heaven realm were going to challenge the prodigies of the Yuan realm. However, it was normal. They were all young and full of vigor and confidence. When they saw a strong opponent, it was inevitable that they would want to learn from each other. The eyes of the Yuan realm prodigies also lit up. They also wanted to know how strong the prodigies of the Heaven realm were. All right, then let's learn from each other. The armored burly man nodded. They had brought the prodigies of the Heaven realm over with such a plan. Thank you, General. The burly young man cupped his fists and stepped forward. His gaze swept over Lu Ming and the others. He had short hair, each strand like a needle. His gaze was sharp like a lion's. I cultivate the Archean martial arts of the Archean system. Among you, there should be someone who cultivates the Archean system. The short-haired young man spoke. His gaze swept over the 10 people with a faint arrogance. Bam, bam, bam. Bauda, Sieku, and the ancient devil stepped forward at the same time. A powerful aura erupted from their bodies. I'll take you on. Bauda spoke. His body was like an iron tower, filled with infinite power. He's mine. Sieku also spoke. There was a trace of coldness in his eyes. He was a purple gold dragon, a royal of the true dragon clan. However, the other party used 9 dragons to pull the carriage, which made him extremely unhappy. The short-haired young man glanced at the 3 of them. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. That trace of contempt was not concealed at all. An Archean physique cultivator, an Archean demon cultivator, and an Archean demon cultivator. Very well, the 3 of you. Come at me together. The short-haired young man said indifferently. His contempt was even stronger. What? Many people's faces changed. This short-haired young man was too arrogant. He actually asked Bauda and the others to come at him together. After all, Bauda had obtained 4th place. His combat strength was extremely powerful. With Sieku and the ancient devil, they could even fight Yuan Xian. This short-haired young man had such strong combat strength? Arrogant. I'll take you on. Sieku was already angry. Now that he was being looked down upon by the other party, how could he bear it? He roared and transformed into his original form. He charged at the short-haired young man. His 5 dragon claws continuously stepped out, wanting to tear the short-haired young man apart. Boom! The short-haired young man struck out with his palm. His palm directly pierced through the void and collided with Sieku's dragon claw. Roar! Cheel roared, his entire dragon body trembling violently as he retreated. That is, everyone saw that Cheel's dragon claw had cracked open. It was covered with cracks and blood was flowing out. With just one move, he had injured Sieku, which was shocking. Many people's gazes were solemn. This short-haired youth's combat strength was absolutely terrifying. Tianming and Yuan Xian both had serious looks on their faces. I said, the 3 of you should come at me together. Otherwise, you won't be able to withstand a single blow. The short-haired young man said with even more disdain. Then let's meet you. Bauda let out a furious roar. His muscular body swelled as he threw out a punch. Similarly, he punched through the void. At the same time, the ancient devil also made his move. A demonic light slashed toward his opponent. Roar! Chelk roared. Blood energy filled the air, and the wound on his dragon claw quickly healed. His body emitted a purple-gold light as he charged towards the short-haired youth. 3 geniuses from the archaic system attacked at the same time, shocking the heavens and earth. Ha ha ha, that's more like it. The short-haired youth laughed. One of his palms changed, as if it had turned into jade. It was so transparent that even the blood vessels in his flesh could be seen. Boom, boom, boom. The short-haired youth attacked, throwing out 3 consecutive palms. Pong! The ancient devil collided with a palm print. His body shook violently as he was sent flying a few thousand meters away. He coughed out large mouthfuls of blood and his aura was weak. He had been severely injured. Pong! Pong! Next, it was Cheel and Bauda. Both of them retreated frantically. Is that all you've got? Not enough? Come again. The short-haired youth charged towards Bauda and Cheel. His palms struck out continuously. Bauda and Cheel tried their best to resist, but they were no match for him. The short-haired youth's palms seemed to have the power to split open the heavens. After more than 10 moves, Bao De and Chiel coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. Their arms were shattered, and they were severely injured. They were unable to continue fighting. Everyone was shocked. This short-haired youth was too terrifying. There were no law fluctuations on his body. It was obvious that he also cultivated the archaic system. However, his strength was astonishing. He easily defeated Bao De, Chiel, and the ancient devil. He should be one of the top sky prides in the heavenly realm. Someone guessed. You guys are too weak. The short-haired youth glanced at Bao De and the other two and stepped back. Bao De, Chiel, and the ancient devil's faces were ugly. However, the other party was indeed powerful. This made them feel helpless, and they had suffered a great blow. I'll spar with the sky prides of the primordial realm. After the short-haired youth returned, another youth walked out from the heavenly realm. This person was wearing a gray robe. His eyes were as bright as the stars. He looked at the crowd and said, I cultivate the law system. Who wants to spar with me? I'll spar with you. Yuan Haoge was the first to speak. He stepped forward. The void around his body undulated like waves. His 2-star void emperor cultivation was undoubtedly revealed. The space-time child, 2-star void emperor? How about this? I'll suppress my cultivation to 2-star void emperor. The gray-robed youth said. Then, a powerful aura emanated from his body. He was a 2-star void emperor. Everyone was shocked. The gray-robed youth's words were very obvious. His true cultivation had surpassed that of a 2-star void emperor. Now, he wanted to fight with Yuan Haoge at the same level. In that case, don't regret it, Yuan Haoge said. As soon as his voice fell, he made his move. He shuttled through the void and charged towards his opponent. His speed was astonishing. The gray-robed youth's face remained calm. At this moment, he waved his hand, and the law erupted. A large cauldron appeared in his hand. The primordial law. This person was a son of primordial chaos. At this moment, the large cauldron in his hand was formed by the primordial law. The primordial cauldron quickly expanded to the size of a mountain and suppressed Yuan Haoge. The power of the primordial cauldron was too shocking. It directly crushed the void and caused space-time to become chaotic. Boom! Wherever the primordial cauldron passed, the space constantly exploded. Yuan Haoge's expression changed drastically. At this moment, he felt a shocking force crushing towards him. He wanted to escape, but he could not. He could only face it head-on. He used all his strength and blasted out a blow, bombarding the primordial cauldron. However, the result was that his body was sent flying. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood, and his arm exploded. It was a tragic sight. Many people gasped in shock. One move, just one move, and Yuan Haoge was defeated. The other party did not use too high of a cultivation. Instead, he suppressed his cultivation to that of a 2-star void emperor and fought with Yuan Haoge at the same level. However, he defeated Yuan Haoge with one move. How was this possible? Many people found it hard to believe, but this was the truth. Too weak. Chapter 2136. The young man in a gray robe from the heaven boundary had challenged Yuan Xian. Yuan Xian squinted his eyes. He was not confident that he could win against the young man in a gray robe. However, since the other party had challenged him, he could not avoid the challenge. Yuan Xian stepped out, and his aura exploded. 2 types of laws spread out. The young man in a gray robe was surprised, and he said, "You have comprehended 2 types of laws and merged them together. Not bad. I wonder how strong you are now? I will show you." Chaotic divine body. Yuan Xian did not dare to be careless against the young man in a gray robe. He immediately used his strongest attack and used his chaotic divine body. Yuan Xian's body was covered in the color of primal chaos, as if it was made from primal chaos stones. His aura had reached its peak. Interesting. Come on, let me see your strength. Don't worry, I will still suppress my cultivation to that of a 2-star empty emperor. The young man in a gray robe revealed a faint smile and a tinge of interest. However, he did not panic at all. His attitude showed that he was looking down on Yuan Xian. Yuan Xian's eyes were filled with anger. He let out a roar and stepped into the air, charging towards the young man in a gray robe. Boom! Yuan Xian threw out a punch. His fist was like a chaotic stone, and it flew towards the young man in a gray robe. The young man in a gray robe stretched out his hand, and a primordial cauldron appeared in his palm. It grew rapidly and became the size of a mountain. The young man in a gray robe waved his hand, and the primordial cauldron flew towards Yuan Xian to suppress him. Dong! Yuan Xian's punch landed on the primordial cauldron. The cauldron shook violently and sound waves swept out in all directions. Many top powers emitted light from their bodies and blocked the sound waves. Yuan Xian also suffered a terrifying impact. His body trembled, and he was forced to retreat. He stepped on the air and exploded. Not bad. You can block one of my attacks. You have some strength. Let's see how many of my attacks you can block, the young man in a gray robe said. He seemed surprised. He then pressed his hand down, and the primordial cauldron flew towards Yuan Xian again. Break! Yuan Xian roared. Both of his fists continued to bombard. One punch after another. It was like a violent storm. However, what was unbelievable was that after every attack, Yuan Xian was forced to retreat. He was no match for the young man, and he was suppressed. After more than 10 attacks, he had retreated a few hundred meters and blood flowed out of his mouth. Suppress, the gray-robed young man whispered. His eyes flashed with a sharp light, and he pressed down with his hand again. The cauldron trembled and grew even larger as it pressed down on Yuan Xian. Boom! This time, Yuan Xian was in an even more miserable state. His body directly fell down and heavily smashed into the battle stage at the top of Destiny Mountain, causing the battle stage to tremble violently. How could this be? In the primordial realm, many young geniuses roared in disbelief. Yuan Xian, the son of chaos, a peerless genius. This time, he was ranked third among all the geniuses in the primordial realm. Even such an expert had been defeated. Furthermore, he had been defeated so easily. Most importantly, the other party had already suppressed his cultivation to the level of a 2-star illusionary monarch, yet he was still able to suppress Yuan Xian with ease. What was going on? The son of chaos was supposed to be invincible among cultivators of the same level as him, so how could he have been suppressed so miserably? Second-level laws. The other party's laws have already reached the second level. A powerful true emperor said, "The second realm of laws?" Some people didn't understand. Immediately, a senior figure explained. When one cultivated to quasi-emperor, one's laws would be consummation, forming a river. However, this so-called consummation was only the consummation of a certain stage. To be precise, it was only the consummation of the first realm of laws. The cultivation of laws was divided into 3 realms. After breaking through to the martial emperor realm, some experts could break through their laws again and cultivate them to the second or even the third realm. Of course, the difficulty of that was extremely shocking. However, once a breakthrough was made, the power would also be shocking. Once a person broke through to the second realm, the power of their laws would increase exponentially. Even the path of the monarch would be able to contend with the strongest laws after reaching the second realm. The gray-robed young man's primordial laws had already reached the second realm. In a battle of the same level, he could easily defeat the son of chaos. However, according to the senior figures, only high-level illusionary monarchs could cultivate their laws to the second realm. Some people would never be able to break through in their lifetime. However, the other party had broken through to the second realm of the primordial laws at such a young age. It was shocking. The geniuses of the primordial realm are really flowers in a greenhouse. They can't even withstand a single blow. How boring. The gray-robed young man looked down at Yuan Xian and said indifferently, his voice full of disdain, "Damn it." The geniuses of the primordial realm were all furious. It was really uncomfortable to be looked down upon like this. However, the other party's combat strength was too shocking. Even Tianming and Lu Ming would probably be defeated if they went up against him. Therefore, they could do nothing about being looked down upon by the other party and could only swallow their anger. After the gray-robed young man finished speaking, he seemed to have lost interest and returned to the war chariot. At that moment, a woman walked out. This woman was wearing a suit of iron armor. She was heroic and had a murderous aura. She glanced at Lu Ming and the others and said, I heard that the child of destiny has been born in the primordial realm. I'm very curious about how wonderful the path of destiny is. Do you dare to fight with me? Tian Ming's eyes flashed. The other party had directly challenged the child of destiny. He could only accept the challenge. Stepping out, his white robe fluttering, Tian Ming looked at the heroic woman and said, I am the child of destiny. What's your cultivation level? The heroic woman asked. 2-star illusionary monarch. Tian Ming said, 2-star illusionary monarch. Great. I'm also a 2-star illusionary monarch. The heroic woman said, and the aura of the laws emanated from her body. Path of the monarch laws. You have a monarch body? Tian Ming was stunned, and a trace of displeasure flashed in his eyes. The other party had a monarch body. She dared to challenge him with a monarch body. This was looking down on him. So what if I have a monarch body? Even a monarch body can defeat you. The heroic woman's aura became stronger. A long spear appeared in her hand. The long spear stirred up the wind and clouds as it pierced toward Tian Ming. As the long spear pierced out, the aura of the heroic woman's body skyrocketed. She was like an invincible war goddess. Great art of destiny. Tian Ming did not dare to underestimate his opponent. He displayed the great art of destiny and turned into a rainbow light, charging toward the heroic woman. Boom! The light of destiny collided with the opponent's long spear, and an astonishing fluctuation erupted. The heroic-looking woman was successfully blocked. Second-level laws. However, you're no match for me even though you're at the second level of the path of the monarch laws. Tian Ming shouted and launched a counterattack. He could see that the other party's laws had already reached the second level. However, he cultivated the path of destiny, while the other party only cultivated the path of the monarch laws. He was fearless and could crush the other party. Whoosh! Whoosh! Tian Ming's finger continued to point out, and rays of light of destiny bombarded the other party. If one doesn't work, then I'll use 2, 3. The heroic woman said coldly. Her aura became stronger as 3 types of laws erupted. Moreover, she had completely mastered them. 3 path of the monarch laws, and 2 of them have already reached the second level. How is this possible at such a young age? A true emperor with snow-white hair roared in disbelief. Chapter 2137. The others were also shocked. This heroic woman looked so young, but she had already comprehended and fused 3 King Dao laws. Moreover, 2 of them had already reached the second level. This was simply shocking. The heroic woman's aura was like a rainbow. She wore iron armor and held a long spear in her hand. She was like a goddess of war. She stabbed out with her spear, causing the wind and clouds to change color. 3 types of laws exploded out at the same time, and a terrifying spear stabbed towards Tian Ming. Tian Ming's eyes narrowed. His body glowed, and the river of destiny appeared. He stood in the middle of the river of destiny and used it to resist. However, the huge spear seemed to be able to pierce through the sky. It directly pierced into the river of fate, causing the river of fate to tremble and create huge waves. The laws of destiny were extremely profound, powerful, and unparalleled. When he made a move, it was as if his words were the law. With a single word, he could determine the success or failure of others, determine their life or death, and determine their fate. However, that was only relative to those with weak cultivations. Once one's cultivation reached a certain level, one would be able to break through the laws of fate with one's strength. Previously, Lu Ming was like this, and now, the heroic woman was the same. The river of fate surged before finally exploding. Tianming's body trembled violently as he staggered backward, coughing up a mouthful of blood. Tianming had lost. The scene was silent. Everyone was dumbfounded and speechless. Was this the prodigy of the heaven realm? He was just a king body, yet he was able to defeat the child of destiny of the primordial realm. It was like a dream. So what if you're a son of heaven? So what if he was the child of destiny? Below the martial emperor realm, they might have an absolute advantage. However, after the martial emperor realm, anything is possible. In the future, I will also use the law of kings to derive the strongest law and trample all the Elysian children under my feet." The heroic-looking woman spoke. Her voice was filled with confidence. She had a king-type body. Under the martial emperor realm, it was impossible for her to fight against an Elysian child. However, after she had broken through to the martial emperor realm, she had broken through to the martial emperor realm and comprehended 3 king-type laws. 2 of them had even reached the 2nd level. Many Elysian children of the same level were no match for her. The heroic woman's words shook the hearts of many people. It also made the eyes of many king bodies and even young people who cultivated ordinary laws light up. Indeed, so what if they fell behind now? They still had a chance. After breaking through to martial emperor, they might erupt with power and surpass the Elysian child. They would charge all the way to the peak. Some of the older generation figures shook their heads. It was easier said than done to achieve this. Even after breaking through to martial emperor, it was extremely difficult to comprehend the laws of kings. As for comprehending the strongest laws, the difficulty was even more astonishing. It was as difficult as ascending to the blue sky. For a woman with a heroic spirit to be able to reach this step, she was already a rare genius. However, they naturally wouldn't say anything to dampen the enthusiasm of those young people. The heroic woman didn't say anything and returned to the war chariot. Tianming's expression turned ugly. In the past, he had been invincible, sweeping through the world. Among the younger generation, there was no one who could match him. However, during this period of time, he had suffered consecutive defeats. First, he lost to Lu Ming. Lu Ming had yet to become a martial emperor. Now, he had lost to someone with a king physique, which dealt a great blow to his confidence. At the same time, the youths of the primordial realm also looked dejected. The geniuses of the celestial realm were too strong. No one in the primordial realm was a match for them, and they suffered consecutive crushing defeats. These geniuses from the heaven realm should be the strongest group of geniuses in the heaven realm. The resources in the heaven realm are better, so it's normal for them to have such cultivation. That's right, they must be the strongest group of people in the heaven realm. Some of the youths discussed. Although they were whispering, they were still heard by the people from the heaven realm. The gray-robed youth from before sneered and said, "Don't comfort yourselves. In the heaven realm, we are not the strongest group of people at all. At most, we can only be considered second tier. The strongest group of people are much stronger than me." What? These words stunned the geniuses of the primordial realm. Even many of the older generation were a little stunned. The youths of the heaven realm were not the strongest. In the heaven realm, there were people stronger than them. They could only be considered second tier. Many of the geniuses of the primordial realm had ugly expressions. Even Tianming, Yuan Xian, Bao Da, and the others had ugly expressions and were somewhat discouraged. Is the gap between our primordial realm and the heaven realm that big? I heard that the heaven realm only has one celestial realm left. How can it still be so terrifying? If it was at its peak, how strong would it be? Many people discussed and became even more dejected. You don't have to be discouraged. At this moment, the armored burly man stepped out, and his voice spread throughout the entire place. Many people looked at him. Your talents are actually not bad. Many of your talents are not inferior to the top geniuses of the heaven realm at all. What you lack is resources and training. The heaven realm has existed for countless years. Although there is only one celestial realm left now, it is the largest celestial realm. The resources, treasures, and various cultivation holy lands that have been accumulated over countless years are incomparable to the primordial realm. That is why their cultivation is stronger than yours. Also, the heaven realm is now at war with the foreign tribes. Sometimes, they will also step onto the battlefield and fight to the death. Only by training through life and death can they become stronger. The armored burly man said. These words made the eyes of many geniuses of the primordial realm light up again, and they regained their confidence. Yes, it was not that their talents were bad. It was just that their resources were not as good as the geniuses of the heaven realm. How could the children of the heavens be bad? So, this time, I will bring a group of geniuses of the primordial realm to the heaven realm. The The resources of the heaven realm will be completely open to you. The armored burly man said again. Many geniuses' eyes shone with ecstasy. The resources of the heaven realm and various cultivation holy lands were not something the primordial realm could compare to. They were tempted and wanted to go. They understood that this was the reward of this battle of 10 earths. It was indeed tempting. Obviously, the heaven realm wanted to cultivate geniuses so that this generation of geniuses could rise quickly. As long as you obtain the resources of the heaven realm, you may be able to compete with them in the future. The armored burly man pointed at the geniuses of the heaven realm and encouraged them. Senior, actually, the number one genius of our primordial realm has not made a move yet. If he does, he may not lose. A youth from the primordial realm spoke up. Previously, their primordial realm had been losing consecutively, and some of the youth were still uncomfortable. At this moment, someone could not help but speak up. Oh? The armored burly man and the geniuses of the heaven realm all looked surprised. At first, they all thought that Tianming was the number one genius of the primordial realm. They did not expect that the number one genius of the primordial realm was someone else. Who was the number one genius of the primordial realm? The armored burly man asked. Many people looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming was speechless. Originally, he did not want to stand out because the cultivation of the geniuses of the heaven realm was too high. Even if he made a move, he might not be able to win. But now, he was pushed forward. Chapter 21:38. The armored burly man glanced at Lu Ming and was shocked. With his cultivation, he could easily see through Lu Ming's cultivation. Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the quasi-emperor level, so he did not take it to heart. He never expected Lu Ming to be the number one supreme talent in the Yuan realm. Could Lu Ming be stronger than the Destiny's Child? The heavenly talents of the heaven realm also looked at Lu Ming in surprise. So it's you, General. I'll take him on. A voice rang out, and a black-robed youth stepped out of the war chariot and walked towards Lu Ming. This person was dressed in a black robe and had long hair like a waterfall. His face was cold and arrogant, and his eyes were sharp. He was the youth that Lu Ming had met in the other world. At that time, this person was with the purple-haired youth, and the two of them seemed to be fellow disciples. At that time, Lu Ming had fought with this person, but the other party seemed to have something to do and ignored Lu Ming. He had wanted to fight for a long time. Now that he heard that Lu Ming was the number one supreme talent in the Yuan realm, he could not wait to attack. Let's fight. Let me see how strong you are. The black-robed youth stared at Lu Ming, and the arrogance in his eyes intensified. His aura shot up to the sky. He was a two-star void emperor. Buzz. Buzz. Then, 6 pitch-black vortexes appeared behind him, spinning continuously. These were reincarnation vortexes that wanted to swallow people into the cycle of reincarnation. This person was a son of reincarnation. In fact, after becoming a martial emperor, there was almost no need to call one a son of heaven. This was because after becoming a martial emperor, there were people who could cultivate the strongest laws. Those who did so after becoming a martial emperor could not be called a son of heaven. However, it was difficult to distinguish who was born and who was born. Therefore, after becoming a martial emperor, people rarely used such a title. However, the black-robed youth's reincarnation law had an extremely oppressive aura. The 6 vortexes seemed to want to swallow the entire world. Remember, the person who defeated you is called Li Yu. After saying that, the black-robed youth pressed down with one hand, and the 6 vortexes pressed down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly. Li Yu's battle prowess was definitely above Yuan Xian and even Tianming. His cultivation was at the pinnacle of the 2-star illusionary emperor realm. He was no weaker than Tianming and Yuan Xian. Moreover, his reincarnation law had already broken through to the 2nd level. Lu Ming did not hold back and directly exploded with his full strength. The 5 types of laws all burst out, and a 5-colored river of laws surrounded his body. Whoosh! Lu Ming soared into the sky and struck out with his palm. Rumble! The terrifying palm force slammed into the 6 reincarnation vortexes, causing them to tremble incessantly. Li Yu's body also trembled as he retreated continuously. 2 supreme laws? Impossible. How is this possible? A shocked voice came out of Li Yu's mouth. He widened his eyes and stared at Lu Ming in disbelief. He had actually sensed 2 supreme laws from Lu Ming. This was absolutely unbelievable. He was not the only one. The other geniuses of the Heaven Realm also widened their eyes and stared at Lu Ming in a daze. They had the expression of a virgin who had not seen the world. Now it's your turn to be shocked. Some of the geniuses of the primordial realm were excited. When they saw that the geniuses of the heaven domain were shocked, they were delighted. Boom. Even the armored burly man could not control himself. A terrifying aura erupted from his body, and his eyes widened. He was dumbfounded. At the same time, a terrifying and oppressive aura permeated between heaven and earth. This aura made people feel as if they were facing the might of the heavens and could not resist it. It was as if they were ants. The stronger one's cultivation, the deeper the feeling. Many of the great emperor's faces changed drastically, and they broke out in cold sweat. They looked at the figure sitting on the heaven domain's war chariot. The heaven-like aura came from this figure. This figure had been shrouded in divine light, and his appearance could not be seen clearly. Before this, he had been very calm, and there was no abnormality. At this time, after seeing Lu Ming erupt with 2 supreme laws, this figure fluctuated and revealed a trace of aura. Sky Emperor. A martial monarch spoke with great difficulty. The hearts of the crowd shuddered. Sky Emperor. The figure sitting on the war chariot was actually the Sky Emperor? The Sky Emperor contained the might of the heavens. However, the aura was restrained as soon as it was released, and the terrifying pressure disappeared. You can comprehend 2 supreme laws and 3 supreme laws of the Path of Kings in the Boundary Emperor realm. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect the primordial realm to have such a person. Continue. Let me experience it. Li Yu was not shocked but delighted. His fighting spirit was stronger. He laughed and rushed towards Lu Ming. Along the way, his aura became stronger, and another law also spread out. Li Yu had mastered 2 laws. One was the reincarnation law, and the other was the Path of Kings. However, the Path of Kings had not broken through to the second realm and was only at the first realm. However, it also increased Li Yu's combat strength by a level. 6 paths of reincarnation fist. Li Yu stretched out his arms and punched out. The fist carried the power of laws and crushed towards Lu Ming. Sword of Death. Lu Ming used one of his strongest killing moves, the Sword of Death. A huge battle sword condensed and was held in Lu Ming's hand. Previously, Lu Ming used this move to cut off Tian Ming's River of Destiny. Swoosh. The Sword of Death slashed out violently. Boom. An earth-shattering roar sounded. The Sword of Death collided with the other party's fistlight, stirring up endless energy. The force was like a raging wave, wave after wave, sweeping in all directions. Boom. The 2 of them retreated 100 meters each. Li Yu was indeed stronger than Tian Ming. Previously, Lu Ming could cut off Tian Ming's River of Destiny with a sword, but now, he could not defeat Li Yu. Again. Li Yu roared and charged towards Lu Ming again. The 6 paths of reincarnation fist covered the sky and the earth as it charged towards Lu Ming. Come on. Lu Ming roared, his eyes revealing an excited fighting spirit. He was indeed excited. In the Yuan realm, among the younger generation, he was already invincible. Once the Sword of Death was used, even Tian Ming would be defeated. But now, Li Yu was able to fight with him. This would allow Lu Ming to continue perfecting the Sword of Death. Lu Ming was only at the initial stage of the Sword of Death. He could barely exert the mysteries of the 4 laws, but he was still far from mastering it. Only in a great battle could he continue to perfect it. Boom, boom. The 2 of them charged at each other, fighting and resisting each other. It was incomparably intense. I didn't expect there to be such a character in the Yuan realm. The young man from the heavenly realm had a rare solemn expression. Lu Ming is indeed powerful. He can fight against the geniuses of the heavenly realm. The geniuses of the Yuan realm smiled and finally felt a little better. Previously, the geniuses of the Yuan realm were completely suppressed by the geniuses of the heavenly realm. Although the heavenly realm had more resources, so their opponents were stronger, and they were not bad in terms of talent, they were still unhappy. Chapter 2139. The battle was very intense, and in the blink of an eye, over 100 moves had passed. Awesome, awesome! Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He realized that as the battle continued, the power of his sword of death became stronger and stronger, and he became more proficient in the use of the 4 laws. This kid is using Li Yu to cultivate his supernatural powers. What a terrifying talent! The armored burly man saw through Lu Ming's purpose and was secretly shocked. Damn it! Li Yu roared in his heart because he realized that the more they fought, the stronger Lu Ming became. In the beginning, they were evenly matched, but now, he was faintly suppressing him. He was furious. He couldn't be defeated by a prodigy of the primordial realm. He roared and tried his best to fight Lu Ming. Let's cultivate the hammer of chaos. Lu Ming didn't care about what Li Yu thought. Now, he was completely immersed in cultivating his supernatural powers. Suddenly, his attack changed. The sword of death disappeared, and Lu Ming used the hammer of chaos to fight fiercely with his opponent. A huge hammer was formed in Lu Ming's hand, and he smashed it at Li Yu. Every strike was extremely heavy and could blow up a mountain and penetrate the earth. The two fought again, and after hundreds of moves, Lu Ming's hammer of chaos became stronger and stronger. Boom, boom. Lu Ming sometimes used the hammer of chaos and the sword of death to hone his supernatural powers. Li Yu, on the other hand, was having a hard time. He was completely at a disadvantage. Lu Ming was getting stronger and stronger. He roared. He didn't want to be the first person to be defeated by a prodigy of the primordial realm. He wanted to turn defeat into victory, but everything was in vain. Bam! In the end, he was hit by Lu Ming's hammer of chaos, and even the 6 reincarnation vortexes exploded. His body retreated wildly, and blood spurted out. His face was pale and extremely ugly. He was defeated by someone from the primordial realm. Great! Many youths from the primordial realm cheered. The primordial realm finally won a battle, and their defeat wasn't that bad. Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, and the others even jumped up and cheered. Do you still want to fight? Lu Ming glared at Li Yu. Again. Li Yu roared, unwilling to admit defeat just like that. Junior brother, stop. At this moment, a voice resounded, and then a figure stepped out. It was the violet-haired young man. Li Yu seemed to be very obedient towards the purple-haired youth and stopped. Junior brother, you're no match for him. If you continue fighting, you'll definitely lose. There's no need for that. Let me do it. The purple-haired youth smiled. Senior brother, you want to make a move? Li Yu was stunned. I can suppress my cultivation and fight with him. The purple-haired young man said, There's no need for you to do anything. How about leaving this battle to me? Another voice sounded out. It was the gray-robed youth who had defeated Yuan Xian earlier. At this moment, he stepped forward. The purple-haired young man pondered for a moment and said, You can do it too. Lu Ming, right? Make your move. Let me see your strength. The gray-robed youth spoke as a primordial chaos cauldron formed in his hand. Boom. Lu Ming couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with the other party and directly attacked. The incomparably huge primordial chaos hammer smashed towards the other party. Since the gray-robed youth dared to attack, he was definitely stronger than Li Yu. Lu Ming didn't hold back and went all out. The gray-robed youth waved his hand, and the primordial chaos cauldron spun and suppressed Lu Ming. 2 types of laws. The gray-robed youth also controlled 2 types of laws. One was the strongest law, and the other was the ruler law. However, like Li Yu, his ruler law had yet to reach the 2nd level. However, his mastery of the primordial chaos law was obviously deeper. Boom! The primordial chaos hammer and the primordial chaos cauldron collided. Lu Ming felt a terrifying force surge through the primordial chaos hammer. Lu Ming's body shook, and he retreated a few steps. However, the primordial chaos cauldron was also sent flying and was caught by the gray-robed youth. He's stronger than Li Yu. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The other party's mastery of the primordial chaos law was obviously deeper and stronger. However, Lu Ming wasn't afraid. He was only excited. Another person had come to hone his skills. Lu Ming stepped into the void and charged toward the gray-robed youth. Boom, boom. After more than 10 moves, although Lu Ming was slightly at a disadvantage, he wasn't defeated. He became stronger as he fought and comprehended super skills in the battle. You want to use me as a whetstone? Impossible. I didn't say that I would suppress my cultivation to fight with you, the gray-robed youth said coldly. In the next moment, a shocking aura erupted from his body. It was much stronger than before. 3-star illusionary emperor. This was the gray-robed youth's true cultivation. He had already reached the peak of the 3-star illusionary emperor realm. He was just one step away from becoming a 4-star illusionary emperor. The gray-robed youth's cultivation erupted, and his battle strength soared. Lose for me. The gray-robed youth waved his hand, and the primordial chaos cauldron smashed toward Lu Ming again. Its power was much stronger than before. The primordial chaos cauldron suppressed the void and was as big as a mountain. Lu Ming retreated rapidly, but the primordial chaos cauldron chased after him at an astonishing speed. Boom! Lu Ming attacked with the primordial chaos hammer. The sky shook violently, and Lu Ming's body shook violently as he was sent flying a few thousand meters away. His arm shook slightly, and the web between his thumb and forefinger was torn, with blood seeping out. The difference between each rank in the martial emperor realm was huge. A 3-star illusionary emperor was much stronger than a 2-star illusionary emperor. If it was an ordinary 3-star illusionary emperor, Lu Ming could kill him instantly. However, the gray-robed youth was a genius among geniuses. He could kill opponents of a higher rank than him, and Lu Ming was no match for him. Buzz! The primordial chaos cauldron shook again and pressed down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming was sent flying again. His blood boiled, and blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. I can only use the 3rd bloodline. Lu Ming squinted his eyes. With a thought, the energy of the 3rd bloodline continuously flowed into Lu Ming's body, causing Lu Ming's body to be covered in a layer of blood-red light. Lu Ming's aura skyrocketed, and his killing intent was endless. Dong! Lu Ming held the primordial chaos hammer and sent the primordial chaos cauldron flying. Hiss, hiss, hiss! Gasps could be heard at the scene. Countless people looked at Lu Ming with their mouths agape. Lu Ming still had energy left. He had not used his full strength before. How was this possible? They were shocked. How could this be? Tianming, Yuan Xian, and the others were also shocked. Lu Ming had defeated them without using his full strength, which was a huge blow to them. It's this kind of secret technique. Xing Xinghe's face was extremely ugly. Back in the Lotus world, Lu Ming had used this kind of secret technique to defeat him. Some experts from the Hung family, He family, and other forces were even more shocked. Lu Ming was too terrifying. Some of the Heaven Boundaries geniuses also had grave expressions. Kill! The gray-robed youth stepped on the primordial chaos cauldron and charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming met the gray-robed youth head-on. After borrowing the power of the 3rd bloodline, Lu Ming's battle strength increased greatly. He continued to exchange blows with the gray-robed youth and even gained the upper hand. All right, let's stop here. Chapter 2140. A voice sounded. The voice was clear, but it contained supreme majesty. Hearing this voice, the gray-robed youth's expression changed, and he quickly retreated. Lu Ming also stopped and did not continue to attack. He withdrew the power of the 3rd bloodline, and the bloody light on Lu Ming's body disappeared. Everyone's eyes were on the figure sitting on the chariot, shrouded in divine light. He was the one who spoke just now. At this moment, the figure stood up and stepped out of the chariot. The divine light on his body was also withdrawn, revealing his true appearance. It was a middle-aged man who looked to be in his 40s. He wore a long robe and looked rather elegant. However, the great emperors of the Yuan realm hurriedly bowed and said, "Greetings, Lord Celestial Emperor." It was indeed the Celestial Emperor. Everyone was shocked, and then they followed suit and bowed, their voices resounding through the sky. The elegant middle-aged man nodded, and his gaze swept across Lu Ming, then swept across Tianming, Yuan Xian, and the others. He said, "The Yuan realm has also reached its golden age, and geniuses have gathered. Very good. Many of you are very talented. If you enter the celestial realm and receive the cultivation of the celestial realm, you will definitely rise quickly. I have decided that this time, the top 320 in the Yuan realm can follow me to the celestial realm to cultivate. Those cultivation holy lands will open their doors for you. At the same time, there will also be celestial emperors to guide you. The elegant middle-aged man said, "What? The top 320 can all go, and the celestial emperor will personally guide us." Many people's eyes were burning with passion, especially those geniuses in the top 320. They were all ecstatic and excited. This meant that the 320 people who passed the selection could all go. Many who did not reach the top 320 had ugly expressions and sighed helplessly. The resources of the celestial realm were much better than the Yuan realm, and there was also the guidance of the celestial emperor. This was too tempting. Of course, when you enter the celestial realm, you will also be allowed to enter the battlefield at an appropriate time. There will also be some dangers in fighting with the foreign tribes. If you are not willing to go, I will not force you. Those who are not willing to go, say it now. The elegant middle-aged man said. No one stepped forward. Who would want to miss such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Moreover, if they wanted to rise, they had to rise through fighting. None of these geniuses were afraid of fighting. Without tempering themselves, how could they set foot on the peak? Not a single person wanted to back out. Very good. The middle-aged man nodded and looked at Lu Ming with surprise in his eyes. After a while, he said, "Everyone in the top 320 can go, but you can't." What? These words caused everyone to be stunned. The celestial the arch said that Lu Ming could not go? What was going on? Lu Ming's strength was obvious to all. His battle prowess was unparalleled. Although he had yet to become a martial emperor, he had already grasped 5 types of laws. 2 of them were the strongest laws, and 3 were the Qingdao laws. His battle prowess was terrifying. It could be said that no one had seen such a person since ancient times. But now, the celestial emperor actually said that Lu Ming could not go? Could it be that there were other arrangements? Many people's imaginations ran wild. Even Lu Ming himself was stunned. "Your Majesty, why can't I go?" Lu Ming was a little unwilling. If he could go to the cultivation holy lands of the heaven realm to cultivate, and even receive the guidance of the heavenly emperor, his cultivation would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. In today's great world, the foreign races were invading. He did not know when a great war would break out. He had to improve his strength as soon as possible. Your physique, below the martial emperor realm, can be said to be a peerless divine body, unparalleled. The celestial emperor looked at Lu Ming and said slowly. Many people were shocked. Even the celestial emperor described Lu Ming as a peerless divine body. Wait. Someone noticed that the celestial emperor said below the martial emperor realm. Sure enough, the celestial emperor continued, but at the same time, your physique is also a peerless trash. What? Countless people were shocked. Previously, the celestial emperor said that Lu Ming's physique was a peerless divine body. Why did he say that Lu Ming was a peerless trash now? Everyone was puzzled and did not understand what was going on. Sigh. The celestial emperor sighed as if it was a pity and said, "Since ancient times, those who cultivate the law system know that below the martial emperor realm, one can at most comprehend one type of law. It is impossible to control 2 types of laws." Many people's hearts skipped a beat. Didn't Lu Ming control many types of laws? They knew that the celestial emperor was most likely going to reveal a big secret. The celestial emperor continued, "However, the heaven realm has been passed down for countless years. At the end of the primordial age, the law system rose to prominence. Until now, countless years have passed. In such a long time, who knows how many geniuses have appeared? Many geniuses have amazing talent. A long time ago, there were also people who broke the rules. Below the martial emperor realm, there were people who controlled many types of laws. There were even people who controlled more laws than you, but no one could control 2 types of supreme laws at the same time. Those people below the martial emperor realm were amazing. Their combat strength was unparalleled. Not to mention those of the same level, it would be easy for them to kill an empty emperor. However, these people could never break through to the martial emperor realm. The celestial emperor explained in detail. Everyone was shocked and their hearts were in turmoil. They could not calm down. It turned out that in the ancient times of the heaven realm, there were already such heaven-defying people who controlled many types of laws and had unparalleled combat strength. However, the most shocking thing was that these people could not break through to the martial emperor realm. Lu Ming was also shocked. He was dumbfounded. He could not break through to the martial emperor realm? Impossible. Lu Ming's eyes turned red. He could not accept it. At the same time, he recalled that in that world, he had tried to break through to the martial emperor realm but failed. He had almost torn his saint heart and body apart. As everyone knows, to break through to the martial emperor realm, one must transform the laws in the saint heart into the heart of the world. Then, with the heart of the world, the saint heart can evolve into a small world. However, controlling many types of laws is difficult to balance. It can be said that there is no balance at all, and it is impossible to evolve the heart of the world. Once you force a breakthrough, the terrifying power of the laws will tear your saint heart and body apart. In history, geniuses like you have taken two paths. One is to force a breakthrough and then be torn to death by the power of the laws. The other is to be trapped in the quasi-emperor realm for the rest of your life until your life is exhausted and you die of depression. Rumble. The celestial emperor's words were like thunder, exploding in Lu Ming's mind. This was because what the celestial emperor said was too similar to what he had faced. No, impossible. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. His eyes were bloodshot. He could not accept this fact. If he could not break through to the martial emperor realm, then what was the point of cultivating? Impossible. My master will definitely break through to the martial emperor realm. My master is unparalleled. Xiang Xiang shouted. Her face was pale, and she could not accept it. No. Ouyang Moli, Qiu Qiu Moon, Huang Ling, Long Chun, and the others shook their heads. They could not believe it. The scene was in an uproar. Chapter 2141. Lu Ming had defied the heavens and emerged as the champion of the Battle of 10 Earths. He stood at the peak of all the geniuses. Without a doubt, Lu Ming was the most dazzling in this Battle of 10 Earths. No one could compare to him. He had defeated Yuan Xian, Tianming, and even the geniuses of the heaven domain. This was destined to be recorded in the annals of history. Previously, everyone thought that Lu Ming had a boundless future, and that his future achievements were unimaginable. They thought that he would become a peak expert. Some powerful forces even planned to befriend Lu Ming and build a good relationship with Lu Ming. But now, the Heavenly Emperor said that Lu Ming could not break through to the martial emperor realm and would be trapped in the quasi-emperor realm for the rest of his life. No one doubted the Heavenly Emperor's words. It could be said that Lu Ming's fate was sealed. What a pity. A rare genius. What a pity. Some people from the major forces sighed. They had planned to befriend Lu Ming and build a good relationship with Lu Ming. But now, they gave up on that idea. If he could not break through to the martial emperor realm, no matter how strong he was, he would not be taken seriously by these major forces. Below the martial emperor realm, no matter how strong he was, how strong could he be? Any true emperor would be able to crush him. Ha ha ha, the heavens have eyes, the heavens have eyes. The Hong Clan, He Clan, Daluo Heaven Sect, Ancient Moon Sacred Grounds Golden Crow Clan, Wang Clan, Sky Wolf Pagoda, and other forces laughed crazily in their hearts. They were too excited. It was simply a blessing from the heavens. Previously, the abilities that Lu Ming displayed made them tremble with fear. They were scared to death. They were afraid that Lu Ming would rise and find them to settle the score. But now, Lu Ming could not break through to the martial emperor realm and would be trapped in the quasi-emperor realm for the rest of his life. To them, he was no threat at all. No matter how strong a quasi-emperor was, what could he do? Peerless, useless body, huh? The great emperor of the He clan sneered. He had been beaten up by Lu Ming's heavenly emperor body and had always held a grudge. For those who had a grudge against Lu Ming, there was no better news than this. On the other hand, those who were close to Lu Ming found it hard to remain calm. One by one, they sighed. The heavens are unfair. An elder from Phoenix Palace sighed. Such an outstanding talent was unprecedented in the primordial realm's history. Yet, it was difficult for him to break through to Martial Emperor. This was truly a pity. Emperor Wu Xiang and Uncle Kong couldn't believe their eyes. Your Majesty, has no one in history ever broken the shackles and stepped into the Martial Emperor realm? Uncle Kong asked. No, never. Those who wanted to break through all died. As for the others, they were stuck at Quasi-Emperor for the rest of their lives. The Celestial the Arch shook his head. He felt that it was a pity. Uncle Kong's body trembled, as if he had aged many years in an instant. Ha ha ha, good. He's just a piece of trash. Finally, I don't have to worry about him anymore. He's just a piece of trash. To think that I even treated him as a peerless genius. Many people from the Hung family, He family, Golden Crow clan, and other forces laughed loudly, their faces full of smiles. Of course, they didn't dare to say it out loud. They only thought it in their hearts. Trash, hee, he's only strong now. It won't be long before I surpass him in all aspects. The son of primal chaos, Yuan Xian, laughed coldly. At this moment, he was filled with confidence. Lu Ming couldn't break through to Martial Emperor, so he was no longer qualified to be his opponent. I still wanted to defeat you with my own hands in the future. Hee, I actually lost to a piece of trash. Tianming laughed coldly in his heart and shook his head slightly. What a pity. He was originally a very good opponent. The purple-haired youth among the celestial realm's geniuses sighed. No, my master will definitely break through. I don't believe that Lu Ming can break the shackles. Xiang and the others still found it hard to believe. No, I will definitely break through. I will definitely step into Martial Emperor. Even the heavens won't be able to stop me. Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot as he clenched his fists tightly. His voice was filled with determination. What a joke. The Celestial Emperor already said it, but he still doesn't believe it. Wishful thinking. A middle-aged man from the Wan family couldn't help but mock. Immediately, he attracted angry gazes and immediately shut up. You want to break through by force? The Celestial Emperor looked at Lu Ming. Yes, I believe in myself. I will definitely break the shackles. The path is created by people. Even if the ancients didn't do it, it doesn't mean that I can't. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. Since ancient times, no one had mastered two supreme laws at the same time. Didn't he achieve it? Breaking through to Martial Emperor by force will risk death. Are you prepared? The Celestial Emperor asked. A trace of admiration flashed in his eyes. He also sighed in his heart. Lu Ming's talent, Lu Ming's willpower, and Lu Ming's firm martial heart were all admirable. If Lu Ming didn't have a crippled body, his future would be unimaginable. It was not impossible for him to break through to Martial Emperor. I will definitely succeed. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. Well, in that case, I will give you 10 days to prepare. After 10 days, I will lend you a hand and help you break through to Martial Emperor. The Celestial Emperor's voice spread in all directions. What? The Celestial Emperor was going to personally help Lu Ming break through to Martial Emperor. This was definitely a great opportunity. Damn it! The Hong clan, He clan, Ancient Moon Holy Ground, Golden Crow clan, Wan clan, and other forces were shocked. They were extremely unwilling and envious. The Celestial Emperor was going to help. Originally, they were overjoyed when they heard that Lu Ming could not break through to Martial Emperor. Now, they were afraid that Lu Ming would succeed with the help of the Celestial Emperor. They were all secretly praying that Lu Ming would not succeed. As for Lu Xiang and the others, they were overjoyed. Thank you for your help, Celestial Emperor. Lu Ming solemnly bowed to the Celestial Emperor to express his gratitude. He was sincere. He really didn't expect the Celestial Emperor to help. Thank you for your help, Celestial Emperor. Uncle Kong and Emperor Wu Xiang also bowed respectfully. Thank you for your help, Celestial Emperor. Then, Lu Xiang, Ouyang Moli, Autumn Moon, Huang Ling, and the others all bowed. Thank you for your help, Celestial Emperor. Then, many people in Yuan Mountain also bowed to express their gratitude to the Celestial Emperor. For example, the ancient sacred tribes, divine emperor, and some other forces. All of them knew that when the alien tribes wreaked havoc on Luanyuan Mountain, it was Lu Ming who risked his life and the few great emperors to seal the void passageway used by the alien tribes. They were grateful to Lu Ming. Thank you for your help, Celestial Emperor. In the end, the ancient great emperor of the land of infinite demons, and even some experts of the divine fate land and other regions expressed their gratitude to the Celestial Emperor. Most of them were not so narrow-minded and had no enmity with Lu Ming. Lu Ming's talent was too high. It would be a pity if he fell silent. They all cherished talents, so they expressed their gratitude to the Celestial Emperor. You're welcome. I also cherish talents. I won't look on helplessly as an unparalleled genius slumbers. During these 10 days, I'll set up the array at this moment to help Lu Ming break through. However, Chapter 2142. The Sky Emperor spoke very bluntly and directly. The foreign tribes were invading, and the heavenly realm was at war. Nurturing peerless geniuses and allowing them to grow up would mean a lot to the heavenly realm and the primordial realm. Therefore, every single resource was precious and had to be used where it was needed most. If Lu Ming could not break through to the martial emperor realm, then Lu Ming would lose his value. No matter how strong a boundary emperor was, he would be useless in the war against the foreign tribes. The heavenly realm's experts would not waste resources on a piece of trash. Therefore, if Lu Ming could not become an emperor, he could only stay in the primordial realm and could not go to the heavenly realm. I understand. Lu Ming nodded. Good, get ready. Adjust your condition to the peak. The heavenly emperor said. Lu Ming nodded and went to the side. He sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes to rest. He needed to adjust his condition, his essence, energy, and spirit to their peak. The heavenly emperor began to carve a formation on the top of Heavenswell Mountain. The top of Heavenswell Mountain shone with dazzling rays of light. Everyone was waiting here. In fact, the number of people had even increased. Lu Ming could be said to be a peerless genius in the history of Yuanlu. Everyone wanted to see if Lu Ming could become an emperor. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, Lu Ming opened his eyes and took a step forward, stepping onto the top of Heavenswell Mountain. Lu Ming, let's begin, the heavenly emperor said. During this period, everyone knew that the heavenly emperor was called Kong Yin and was known as Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin. Lu Ming nodded and sat cross-legged on top of Heavenswell Mountain. You must succeed. Xiang Xiang, Ouyang Moli, and the others were very nervous and clenched their fists. The Hong clan, He clan, Golden Crow clan, Wang clan, Skywolf Pagoda, and other forces were also very nervous. However, in their hearts, they hoped that Lu Ming would not succeed. Boom! Lu Ming's body emitted a powerful aura. He was about to break through. The scene was completely silent. Not a single sound could be heard. With the heavenly emperor in charge, even those forces that had a grudge against Lu Ming, such as the Mu family, did not dare to make the slightest move and disturb Lu Ming's breakthrough. Otherwise, if he angered the Celestial Emperor, the entire Mu clan would be buried with him. As for the Hong clan and He clan, they didn't dare to make any moves. At this time, Lu Ming began to control the 5 types of laws, forming the world heart in his saint heart. However, at this moment, the 5 types of laws erupted, unable to coexist. They clashed against each other, and a terrifying tearing force burst forth. Lu Ming's body shook violently, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Just like the previous time, it was difficult for him to succeed. Lu Ming, focus your mind and focus on evolving. I will protect your body and saint heart. Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin said. He stretched out his hand and pressed down. The entire peak of Heaven's Mandate Mountain was filled with tens of thousands of rays of light. Streaks of divine light appeared and enveloped Lu Ming's body, then seeped into his body and covered his saint heart. This was the power of the array protecting Lu Ming's body and saint heart. Evolve. Lu Ming roared. He no longer cared about his body and saint heart. He controlled the 5 types of laws with all his strength, wanting to evolve the world heart in his saint heart. However, the 5 types of laws were too many, and it was difficult to achieve a balance. The power clashed and stirred up each other, and a terrifying force rushed out. Lu Ming's saint heart and body trembled violently as they were bombarded by the destructive force. If it wasn't for Heavenly Emperor Kong in protecting his saint heart and body, Lu Ming would have been seriously injured. His saint heart might even explode, and his body would be torn apart. "I must succeed," Lu Ming roared. He ignored everything and went all out. Boom, boom. A series of explosions came from Lu Ming's body, as if there was an expert fighting inside Lu Ming's body. His body burst out with rays of light like a sieve, and it was extremely shocking. Poochie. Following that, Lu Ming coughed out large mouthfuls of blood, and his face turned pale. One could see that cracks were beginning to appear on his body. Not good. Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin's face changed. Even with his help, Lu Ming was still injured. It wasn't that he didn't have enough power, but when Lu Ming was breaking through, the power of laws surged and directly burst out from Lu Ming's body. In the end, it might attract the power of the heavenly Tao, causing Lu Ming to self-destruct. Master! Lu Ming! At this moment, Xiang Xiang, Autumn Moon, Huang Ling, and the others were all extremely nervous. Breakthrough! Lu Ming roared and continued to break through. He had to break through. His martial path couldn't be severed just like that. Pacha! Poochie! Cracks even appeared on Lu Ming's saint heart, and there were even more cracks on Lu Ming's body. Blood kept seeping out, as if he would be torn apart at any time. Lu Ming, stop. You can't continue. Otherwise, you will die. Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin shouted. Breakthrough. Lu Ming roared. His eyes were extremely persistent. He wanted to continue breaking through. Many people were moved, and many people sighed. They could understand Lu Ming's feelings. As a peerless genius, if he could only be trapped in the quasi-emperor realm for the rest of his life and couldn't break through, how sad would that be? Thinking about it from another perspective, many people would also break through at all costs. Poochie, Poochie. There were even more cracks on Lu Ming's body. Many cracks directly spurted out blood. Master, Xiang Xiang said softly, tears welling up in her eyes. Young master. It was the same for Autumn Moon. Her heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. Everyone who was on good terms with Lu Ming revealed a look of pity. As for the Golden Crow clan, Wang clan, and other forces, they were ecstatic. They were screaming in their hearts that Lu Ming must not succeed. Poochie. At this moment, a crack appeared between Lu Ming's eyebrows. It was as if his entire head was going to split open. This was extremely dangerous. If one was not careful, his body would explode, and his soul would scatter. Stop! Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin shouted. He pressed down with one hand, and a powerful and terrifying force entered Lu Ming's body, controlling Lu Ming. He knew that if he did not intervene, Lu Ming would only have a dead end. With the intervention of a heavenly emperor, Lu Ming could not control the laws. The laws dissipated, and he vomited blood. His face was pale. Failed. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Failed again. And it was with the help of Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin, but he still failed and did not break through. Could it be that he really had a peerless trash body and could not become an emperor? He was extremely unwilling. Along the way, he had experienced countless dangers and storms. He had broken through all the barriers, and today, he had stepped onto the peak of the younger generation in the primordial realm. In the end, he was blocked by the emperor realm. It was difficult to break through. If he could not become an emperor, everything would be in vain. If there was a great war in the future, he would be powerless and unable to protect his family. No, Lu Ming roared in his heart. He was unwilling. He would not give up. He would break the shackles and create a miracle. Lu Ming, heal your injuries first, Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin said, and a warm energy entered Lu Ming's body. Thanks to the flowing light, his injuries were rapidly recovering. Chapter 21:43. Lu Ming continued to refine the energy, allowing it to circulate throughout his body and seep into his saint heart. The cracks on his saint heart were disappearing, and finally, it was completely healed. His physical body had also completely recovered from his injuries. Lu Ming understood that this was all thanks to the Heavenly Emperor's help. That energy contained endless vitality, allowing him to recover so quickly. Otherwise, cracks would appear on his saint heart, and his injuries would be extremely serious. It would take a long time for him to slowly recover. Thank you for your help, Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming stood up and thanked Heavenly Emperor Kong In solemnly. Heavenly Emperor Realm. What kind of person was he? Yet, he was able to help him break through. Whether or not he succeeded, Lu Ming was very grateful. Sigh, what a pity. Heavenly Emperor Kong In sighed. It was a pity that a person like Lu Ming could not become an emperor. Lu Ming, don't force yourself to break through in the future. This time, I can save you. Next time, no one will be able to save you. Take care of yourself. Heavenly Emperor Kong In said, then turned around and returned to the war chariot. Master, Xiang Xiang believes that you will definitely break through in the future and create a miracle. Xiang Xiang walked over and looked at Lu Ming with tears in her eyes. I also believe in Master. Ouyang Moli also walked over. Young Master. Qiumun also walked over, but did not know what to say. Then, Huang Ling, Long Qin, Luo Tianyi, Luo Xiang and the rest also walked over. Looking at these disciples and friends, Lu Ming's heart warmed. He smiled and said, Don't worry, I won't take risks easily. At this moment, the Hong family, He family and other forces that had a grudge against Lu Ming were ecstatic. They laughed in their hearts and let out a long breath. Mu Yang was actually killed by a cripple. Humph, my Mu family will definitely take revenge. The Mu family's experts sneered in their hearts, their eyes flashing with killing intent. All right, it's getting late. The top 320 geniuses, follow me to the heavenly realm. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin's voice sounded. Swoosh, swoosh. One by one, the young geniuses flew up to the front of the war chariot. And no, Xiang Xiang doesn't want to go to the heaven realm. Xiang Xiang wants to stay and accompany Master. Lu Xiang Xiang shook her head. Young Master, I'm not going either. Autumn Moon also spoke. I'm not going either. I want to accompany Big Brother Lu Ming. Bubbles hung around Lu Ming's neck, swaying from side to side. Previously, Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin had said that if Lu Ming couldn't become an emperor, he wouldn't be able to head to the heavenly world. The heaven realm would not waste resources on a person who was destined not to become an emperor. What nonsense are you talking about? Let's all go to the heaven realm to cultivate. Only in the heaven realm can you improve faster. Lu Ming smiled and looked at Autumn Moon and the others. If the heaven realm wanted to nurture this batch of young geniuses, they would definitely take out a large amount of resources. Furthermore, with the guidance of the Celestial Emperor, their improvement speed would definitely be very fast. If they stayed in the primordial realm and relied on themselves to explore, their cultivation speed would be much slower. With the invasion of the foreign tribes, no one knew when the war would break out. Only by going to the heaven realm to cultivate was the right path. Lu Ming wouldn't let them stay. No, no. Autumn Moon, Bubbles, Lu Xiang Xiang, and the others shook their heads. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Kong In looked at Bubbles and said, Little guy, you're a space-time spirit mouse. Staying in the primordial realm will only bury your talent. Follow me to the heaven realm. There will be a specialized Heavenly Emperor to guide you. Heavenly Emperor Kong In valued Bubbles a lot. The top 10 battle beasts were no small matter. Each of them had unparalleled talent. If they were to fully mature, they would be peak experts. The top 10 battle beasts of the ancient era were all terrifying existences with unparalleled combat power and unparalleled divine might. No. Bubbles shook his head like a rattle drum. Many people were so envious that their eyes turned red. With such good conditions, Bubbles still didn't want to go. It was simply infuriating. All of you, go to the heaven realm to cultivate together. At this moment, Lu Ming's face sank. His sharp gaze swept across Bubbles, Lu Xiang Xiang, and the others. I'm not crippled. There's no need for you to accompany me. Don't worry, I will definitely become an emperor in the future. When that time comes, I will go to the heaven realm to find you. Master, Lu Xiang Xiang whispered. Let's go. Lu Ming said sternly. Yes. In the end, Lu Xiang Xiang, Ouyang Moli, and the others nodded. Bubbles pouted unwillingly, looking reluctant to part. Then, he lay weakly on Lu Xiangxiang's shoulder and came to the front of the war chariot. Lu Ming, take care. Huang Ling, Huang Li, and the others also came to the front of the war chariot. Lu Ming, when you return to the divine wilderness and Xin Yanlin, help me pass a message. When my cultivation is successful, I will definitely look for her. Long Chun said to Lu Ming. He also wanted to stay and return to the divine wilderness to reunite with Xian Yanli. But he knew that the war was not far away. Without cultivation, even if they reunited temporarily, they would not be able to protect anything in the future. He wanted to go to the heaven realm to cultivate. This opportunity could not be missed. Don't worry, I will return to the divine wilderness soon. When the time comes, I will pass the message for you. Take care. Lu Ming patted Long Chin's shoulder and smiled. Everyone bid farewell to Lu Ming one by one. Only Autumn Moon did not move. Autumn Moon, go. Lu Ming looked at Autumn Moon. No, I won't go. I want to stay by young master's side. Autumn Moon shook her head. Before Lu Ming could speak, Autumn Moon said again, even if young master drives me away, I won't leave. I want to stay by young master's side. I want to return to the divine wilderness to see master and madam. Autumn Moon looked at Lu Ming with a determined face. All right. In the end, Lu Ming sighed and let Autumn Moon stay. Lu Ming, you have to take care. I'm going to the heaven realm too. At this moment, a figure came to Lu Ming's side. It was Emperor Wu Xiang. Dean, Lu Ming was puzzled. Could it be that Emperor Wu Xiang was going to the heaven realm to participate in the war? Huntian and Heavenly Fire have entered the heaven realm. I don't know if they are dead or alive. I'm worried, Emperor Wu Xiang explained. Lu Ming understood that Emperor Wu Xiang was going to look for Huntian and Heavenly Fire Emperor. Dean, take care. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Haha, Lu Ming, I hope that the next time I see you, you will have become an emperor. Emperor Wu Xiang smiled and then left. Lu Ming, I hope you can become an emperor. When the 20 years are up, I will challenge you. If you can't become an emperor, everything will be meaningless. In the end, Deathblade came to Lu Ming's side and left. Let's go, Heavenly Emperor Kongyin said. 9 true dragons roared and shook the sky. Rumble. The 9 dragons pulled the chariot toward the depths of the sky. It rushed into the huge door and disappeared. The other sky prides of the Yuan realm also entered the door and disappeared. Before stepping into the door, Yuan Xian glanced at Lu Ming coldly and then turned to leave. In the crowd, Lu Ming saw Luo Zhangqiong's figure. He was also one of the 320 people. He also glanced at Lu Ming coldly. Lu Ming, I hope you can survive. The next time I see you, I will kill you. Luo Zhangqiong sneered and stepped into the door. Master, take care. Lu Ming, take care. At the door, the voices of Xiang Xiang, Bubbles, Huang Ling, and the others could be heard. When the voices came, they were already gone. Chapter 2144. In the depths of the sky, the gate disappeared. The celestial world's emissaries and more than 300 geniuses all entered the celestial world. Many people looked back at Lu Ming. Many sighed, many sneered, and some even revealed killing intent. Lu Ming, you must pay with your life for killing Mu Yang of the Mu clan. An expert from the Mu clan was the first to attack. He stepped forward and charged at Lu Ming with killing intent. This was a great emperor with a goatee and a ferocious look in his eyes. Mu Yang was a peerless talent. He could have gone to the celestial world to obtain great opportunities and even become a celestial emperor in the future. If he became a celestial emperor, he would have been able to lead the Mu clan to glory. Everyone in the Mu clan had high hopes for him. But now, he was killed by Lu Ming. They wouldn't let Lu Ming go. What are you doing? Uncle Kong stepped forward and arrived in front of Lu Ming. His powerful aura erupted and blocked the great emperor from the Mu clan. You think you can stop the Mu clan by yourself? Another cold laughter rang out as a figure appeared beside Uncle Kong. His aura permeated the air, enveloping Uncle Kong. It was another great emperor. The Mu clan was a very powerful force in the divine Fate Land. They had more than one great emperor. On the other side, The great emperors wanted to help, but they were stopped by the great emperors of the Han clan, He clan, and Tianluo clan. Lu Ming must die today. The great emperor from the Mu clan with a goatee said coldly and slowly approached Uncle Kong. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly. He had the celestial emperor's body. At most, he could control it and cause a ruckus to escape with Uncle Kong. Mu clan, you've gone too far. At this moment, a white-haired elder stepped forward and released a terrifying aura. The two great emperors from the Mu clan were shocked. This was an expert from one of the overlords of Destiny City. His cultivation was unfathomable. The Battle of the 10 Earths just ended, and you want to touch the champion of the Battle of the 10 Earths in Destiny City? Do you want to die? Said someone else, glaring at the two great emperors from the Mu clan. They were from another powerful group in Tianming City. Many powerful great emperors glared at the two great emperors from the Mu clan. Although Lu Ming couldn't become a monarch, he was still the champion of the Ten Lands battle. His tenacious character was admirable. At this moment, how could they let the Mu clan touch Lu Ming? The two Mu clan's great monarchs gritted their teeth and retreated helplessly. Take the two of them and leave Destiny City. The white-haired old man transmitted his voice to Uncle Kong. Uncle Kong nodded and said to Lu Ming, "Hall Master, let's go." Following this, he waved his hand and a wave of energy brought Lu Ming and Autumn away, disappearing without a trace. After some time, they appeared at the peak of a mountain. This place is already far away from the divine fate land. You all enter my small world first. I will bring you all back to Yuan Mountain. Kongbo said, Uncle Kong, I don't want to go back for the time being. I want to look around. Lu Ming suddenly spoke. Look around? Uncle Kong was stunned at first, then a complicated look appeared in his eyes. He understood how Lu Ming felt. Not being able to become a monarch was a huge blow to anyone, not to mention a peerless genius like Lu Ming. Lu Ming needed time to calm down and adjust himself. Hall Master, this is the divine fate land. I'm afraid the Mu clan will do something to you. Uncle Kong was a little worried. Uncle Kong, don't worry. I won't use my real identity. I will use the divine aura technique to hide my identity. The divine fate land is so big, the Mu clan won't be able to find me. Lu Ming said, I want to follow you, young master. Autumn Moon said. She also cultivated the divine aura technique. In the end, Uncle Kong nodded and allowed Lu Ming to look around. All right, I'll wait for you at the Great Pill Development Hall. Uncle Kong nodded and then tore through space and left. After Uncle Kong left, Lu Ming and Autumn Moon both used the divine aura technique to change their appearances. After changing their clothes, the two of them walked together between the mountains and the earth. Indeed, not being able to become a monarch was a huge blow to Lu Ming. He had to adjust himself. They walked and stopped, doing whatever they wanted. Sometimes, Lu Ming and Autumn Moon would discuss cultivation. Autumn Moon had already become a monarch and could comprehend many types of laws. Lu Ming had already comprehended 5 types of laws to the first level of perfection. In this aspect, he could be said to be very experienced. Autumn Moon also received a lot of inspiration. Lu Ming would sometimes meditate in one place for a few days. Autumn Moon would accompany Lu Ming to comprehend the laws. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. On a mountain peak, Lu Ming had been meditating for half a month. What should I do in the future? Sitting on the mountain peak and watching the clouds, Lu Ming's mood had completely adjusted. Now, he was thinking about what to do in the future. Since I can't become a monarch, I'll continue to comprehend the laws. The more laws I comprehend, the stronger my combat strength will be. As long as my combat strength becomes stronger, so what if I can't become a monarch? Lu Ming's eyes gradually lit up. Since he couldn't become a monarch, he would continue to comprehend new laws. Every time he integrated a new type of law, his combat strength would skyrocket. Now, he only had 5 types of laws. What about 6, 7, 8, or even more? What level would his combat strength reach? Moreover, since he could comprehend 2 types of supreme laws, could he comprehend 3 or 4 types? If he could control all 10 types of supreme laws, what level could he reach? His path was not cut off. His strength could still continue to improve. Then I'll comprehend new laws. Lu Ming stood up, his face showing a confident expression again. Young master. Xiao Yu came to Lu Ming's side. Xiao Yu, let's go. Lu Ming held Xiao Yu's small hand and stepped into the air. Next, what law should I comprehend? Lu Ming pondered. A moment later, Lu Ming had already made a decision. Alchemy Dao Law. Next, Lu Ming planned to comprehend Alchemy Dao Law. Alchemy Dao Law, Array Dao Law, and Tools Dao Law were three types of King Dao Law evolved from the Dao of Inscription. Each had its own mysteries. Lu Ming had already mastered Array Dao Law. Lu Ming planned to master Alchemy Dao Law and Tools Dao Law in the future. In that way, the fusion of three types of laws would be even more mysterious. A few days later, they arrived at a large city. This large city was the holy land of alchemy in the divine Fate Land. Everywhere was filled with medicinal fragrance. The factions in this large city were practically all focused on alchemy. Lu Ming and Xiao Yu temporarily stayed in this large city. In this large city, it was helpful for Lu Ming to comprehend Alchemy Dao Law. In just a few days, Lu Ming already cultivated Alchemy Dao Law to the rudimentary level. This made Lu Ming secretly amazed. He comprehended various laws at an astonishing speed. During this period of time, Xiao Yu was also comprehending other laws, but she encountered tremendous resistance. Cultivating it was very difficult. Lu Ming guessed, could it be related to his somewhat mutated sacred heart? Chapter 21:45. The two of them were not in a hurry to return to Yuan Mountain. They continued to wander around, relaxing and cultivating at the same time. Aeon City, Mu Clan. In a hall, a group of people were discussing something. According to reliable sources, Lu Ming did not return to Yuan Mountain. The only one who returned was Old Devil Dan Kong. A Mu Clan powerhouse said, but we sent people to look for Lu Ming everywhere, but they couldn't find him. That kid seemed to have evaporated into thin air. Another person said, it doesn't matter. We'll just wait for him. Lu Ming will return to Yuan Mountain sooner or later. We'll send people to Yuan Mountain and wait for him to return. That's right. Lu Ming must die. We must avenge Mu Yang. The Mu Clan powerhouses spoke one after another. Let me make a trip there myself. Finally, a middle-aged man with a goatee walked out. This was a great emperor. Back then at Destiny Mountain, he was the first to make trouble and wanted to kill Lu Ming. We're relieved to have you make a trip there. The others nodded. Immediately, the great emperor with the goatee led two Mu Clan powerhouses and left Aeon City, heading towards Yuan Mountain. Lu Ming didn't know all of this. They were still comprehending as they walked. In the north of Yuan continent, the land of divine beasts, it was an extremely barren and hidden place. Here, the space was extremely unstable and the origin chi was thin. It was a famous place of death in the land of divine beasts. There were thousands of divine beasts in the land of divine beasts, but no divine beast would come close to this place. On this day, a black-clothed woman with peerless beauty and peerless elegance was holding the hand of a 3- or 4-year-old boy. The little boy had bright eyes and white teeth. He was very good-looking. Mother, where are we going? The little boy asked. The beautiful woman looked at the little boy with a complicated look in her eyes. Finally, she said softly, Mother will take you to a better place and teach you cultivation. Hee, little sister, I haven't seen you for many years. I didn't expect you to have a child. A delicate laugh sounded, and a figure stepped on the air and came over. It was also a woman with peerless beauty. Her appearance was exactly the same as the previous woman in black, but her temperament was slightly different. The woman behind him was dressed in a white dress. Her entire body was shrouded in holy light. She looked very holy. Xian Yinjuan. The black-clothed woman's eyes turned cold. That's right, the woman in black was Xian Yinqing, and the woman in white was Xian Yinjuan. Xian Yinjuan carefully looked at the little boy in Xian Yinqing's hand and revealed a look of surprise. He said, this little baby looks 70 to 80% similar to Lu Ming. Could he be yours and Lu Ming's child? This is really beyond my expectations. From what I see, you've already awakened. Yet you're still doing this kind of thing with Lu Ming. Moreover, you haven't killed Lu Ming yet. That's even stranger. Xian Yinjuan was extremely curious. It's none of your business, Xian Yinqing said coldly. No, I can see that the memories of your previous life and this life haven't merged. It should mean that the memories of this life don't want to merge with the memories of your previous life. No wonder, no wonder. However, if you continue like this, your cultivation will be completely surpassed by mine sooner or later. Xian Yinjuan seemed to have seen through something and laughed. Xian Yinqing's face revealed a complicated expression. Although she had awakened the memories of her previous life, the memories of this life were not willing to merge with the memories of her previous life. The two kinds of memories would appear alternately to control this body. Why do you have to do this? Only by merging the memories of our previous life and this life can we surpass our previous life and embark on the supreme path. If you continue like this, all of your efforts will eventually be in vain. In the end, Xian Yinjuan let out a long sigh. Her personality was indeed very different from before. In the past, when she saw Xian Yinqing, she would not speak to him with such an attitude. At this moment, Xian Yinqing's expression changed. Her eyes and expression also changed. Her eyes and expression were the same as Xian Yinqing's in the past. She touched the little boy's little head dotingly and said, I won't merge. This life is this life, and the previous life is the previous life. Why should I awaken? Why should I merge? It seems that you can't let go of Lu Ming, Xian Yinjuan said. Xian Yinqing was silent and did not speak. Mother, who is she? Why does she look like you? The little boy asked and looked at Xian Yinjuan curiously. I'm your aunt. Come to aunt. Aunt will take you to the heavenly realm and teach you the supreme cultivation method. Xian Yinjuan smiled. I will take him there. You don't have to worry. With that, Xian Yinqing did not say anything else. She held the little boy's hand and walked toward the void turbulence. Xian Yinjuan smiled and also walked toward the void turbulence. In the end, their figures disappeared. If others knew, they would be very surprised. The void turbulence here could lead to the heavenly realm? Lu Ming and Autumn Moon walked and stopped. When they arrived at Huanhai, half a year had passed since the end of the Ten Lands battle. In this half a year, the news of the Ten Lands battle had spread throughout the world. Countless people were shocked. Countless people knew the name Lu Ming. Of course, there were also countless people who sighed. A peerless genius could not become an emperor. It made people sigh. After Lu Ming and Autumn Moon arrived at Huanhai, they took the cross-sea warship and returned to Yuan Mountain. After returning to Yuan Mountain, they did not disguise themselves and returned to their original appearance. Lu Ming did not go to Celestial City, nor did he return to Ancient Moon Holy Land. The first place he wanted to go was the Ancient Sacred Tribe. He wanted to go to the Ancient Sacred Tribe to find Xian Yinjuan and ask about Xian Yinqing's situation. He felt that Xian Yinjuan must know what happened to Xian Yinqing. Unfortunately, when he arrived at the Ancient Sacred Tribe, he was told that Xian Yinjuan had already left the Ancient Sacred Tribe a few months ago, and his whereabouts were unknown. Lu Ming was helpless. He could only leave the Ancient Sacred Tribe and take the teleportation formation to return to Ancient Moon Holy Land. Emperor Wu Xiong had already left. Lu Ming no longer needed to go to Celestial City. Lu Ming planned to return to Ancient Moon Holy Land first before returning to Tsang State. It was time to settle the matters in Tsang State. With his current battle strength, he could kill an ordinary Void Emperor with a raise of his hand. After settling the matters in Tsang State, it was time for him to return to Divine Wilderness Continent. Counting it, he had left Divine Wilderness Continent for more than 10 years. It was time to go back and take a look. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming is back. When Lu Ming walked out of the teleportation formation outside the Ancient Moon Holy Land, he was immediately recognized by others. The teleportation formation area was in an uproar. Lu Ming's name was famous all over the world. In the Battle of the Ten Lands, he trampled over the other geniuses and won the championship. His peerless talent made the people of Ancient Moon Holy Land feel very proud. Everyone, please make way. Lu Ming was speechless because the road was already blocked. A large number of people surrounded and watched. Lu Ming and Xiao Yu squeezed out of the crowd and flew towards Ancient Moon Holy Land. He's just a crippled body. If he can't become an emperor, what's the use of having strong battle strength at this stage? After Lu Ming left, someone sneered and mocked. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.